Supernatural Season 9, Episode 16, Mother's Little Helper. This episode was really cool because my favorite part about it, at least, was definitely the flashbacks that we got because, Sam went on a mission on his own in this episode, and he actually gets help from a woman who used to be a nun who coincidentally ran into his grandfather and Abaddon before she possessed the woman that she's currently possessing. So I enjoyed the episode because, in the flashbacks we got to see Henry Winchester going around, and it was the mission that, led him to become an official man of letters. And it was interesting that, his final mission, that's when Abaddon actually was able to infiltrate the men of letters, and we actually see that in this episode that, she was, she had possessed that woman long before that day, so it was really interesting to get that. And what she was doing even way back then was actually kind of ramping her up to take over hell and be one of the most powerful demons, or really the most powerful demon on earth. So it was really interesting to see that she has had this plan for a fairly long time, and it may not have exactly been so that she could be the leader of hell when she initially started the plan, but that's of course her plan now. And she's taking souls out of people to create demons that'll, instantly be her army. And I thought that was an amazing concept that they added at the end of the episode. And it was also interesting just having people with no souls be in the episode because, of course, there's an entire season where Sam didn't have a soul. So it was really cool to have that parallel because I don't think any other character has really been without a soul in the show. Like, no one's ever really pushed out into the front of this show like, hey, this person doesn't have a soul, so that's why they act like this. It's really only been Sam, and then we get to see all of these people, although they all have just tons of anger issues. Like, I feel like Sam didn't really snap on anybody like that, but it's just like here and there they have these different moments, so they kind of snap in a quick second and then they take someone out. But it was a really good episode. I enjoyed the main story, and it was an interesting structure for the episode because the brothers, they didn't go on the mission with each other. Sam went by himself because Dean, which is of course the side story of this episode, Dean is kind of wrapped up in trying to take down Abaddon, and the reason he is because he wants to get his hands on the first blade again, because that feeling he got when he first used it, it's stuck in his head now, and that rage is also something that's like in him now. He has that rage when he uses the blade, but without the blade, after that little first taste, I guess, now that he doesn't have the blade, that's what he craves, like that feeling and that rush to use it again. So it was a really interesting side story with him, as not Abaddon, but as Crowley put it, like it takes a junkie to know a junkie. So it was interesting to see him hitting these books so hard, and it's not really to defeat Abaddon, it's mostly so that he can get his hands on the blade, which of course Sam doesn't know, and he thinks Dean's just really trying to end everything, but he's really just trying to get his hands on the blade. But it was a really good episode, and it was cool to get Crowley, and he's messing with Dean, trying to figure out what's his deal and this and that, and he sets up a plan where this demon acts like he's a hunter. And what really got me was when that side story ends and Crowley's like, now Dean is ready, because Dean basically did exactly what he thought he would, which was save Crowley, because he knew that's the only way he could get the blade. But I'm curious as to what Crowley thinks Dean is actually ready for, if he means he's ready for just taking on Abaddon, or if he's actually ready to control the blade itself. So I'm curious to see which one he really meant, and hopefully it is to control it. But I think, no matter how much Crowley actually thinks Dean is ready, I think when we get to the point where he has to kill Abaddon, even if he does it, after that happens, and he'll probably have to take out quite a few demons before he actually even gets to Abaddon. So he'll probably be using that blade like crazy, and then he'll get to her and he could take her out in 2 seconds, but he'll still have that rage after it's been, who knows, like an hour's worth of just killing demons. He could just be enraged and have no idea how to control himself. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But it was a great episode. Loved the structure just because it was so different, and the sort of flashback was really the main focus of this episode, was showing the final mission Henry had before he became a man of letters. And ultimately, it was a good episode leading into what we will get, not until April 15th, unfortunately, but it'll have Cass in it, which is definitely going to be one of my favorite parts about it. But definitely excited for the rest of this season. This episode was really good because I wasn't expecting Henry to be in it, but he was actually a big part of it, which is always good when they have, other Winchesters. So definitely loved the episode. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought of it. Favorite parts, least favorite parts, and where do you guys think, Dean is gonna go now that he's possibly been able to, or he's possibly ready to control his rage. Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.